My name is Seymone Ernest. So I met Jesus at a very young age. I was baptized for the first time when I was 6 years old. I gave my life to the Lord when I was 8 years old in Sunday school. And then when I was 16, I got confirmed in the Dutch Reformed Church, and I did a formal confirmation of who Jesus is to me. But my life before I met Jesus was, or before I really met Jesus, was a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-loathing, a lot of lies about myself and who I am. I struggled with a lot of suicidal thoughts. I struggled with thoughts that I'm not good enough. I also struggled with thoughts that I want to please people, and I want to be accepted by people, and I want people to like me. I've always been ambitious. I've always tried to succeed at everything that I do, but I was never satisfied. And although I grew up in a Christian home with parents that trained me up in the ways of the Lord, I knew what I needed to know about Christ, but it didn't really make a difference in my life because all of these things of the world was consuming my mind, and all these negative thoughts about myself consumed my mind. I met Jesus for the first time, properly, I would say, met Jesus for the first time in about August this year. I started a devotion about my identity in Christ, and I started a devotion about habits, as well as a 21-day of the overflow of the Spirit. And these devotions, it was kind of like a running theme, because when I started the devotion the Friday night, the Sunday morning service was also about my authority in Christ, or Christ's authority in me rather. And when I was listening to or reading these devotions, the Tuesday in life group started being about my identity in Christ, and so this was kind of like a running theme. And so that's when I started to meet Jesus, and it was only until about August and September that I was working on these devotions, and it was about ridding myself of worldliness, about deception, about pride, about lies about myself, about distractions, about unforgiveness and bitterness. And the biggest change, I would say, happened on the 30th of September, when my loving and caring partner and I decided to separate, to allow God to speak to both of us about what He wanted for our future. The main thing, I think, was God wanted me to surrender everything to Him, including the person that I wanted most in my life. In my relationship with my partner, we were together for 8 years, and God was telling me and prompting me throughout my relationship that I need to surrender, but I was disobedient because I wanted what I wanted. And I believe that, or I understand and see now, that I was valuing my relationship and what I wanted above God and before God. And that's why He wanted me to understand that He needs to be my first love. Now I am learning to understand that God's unconditional love is exactly what it is. It's without any conditions. And I'm understanding who He actually is, and that I have to pursue Him, and that I have to learn more about Him. And only when I learn about Him will I be able to love others through Him. I've known about God for 28, 29 years of my life. I've known about God, but it's only now that I've surrendered everything to God that He is actually settling in my heart, and the things that I know is actually settling into my heart. So all the head knowledge has to move to the heart. So that's what's changed, basically. because I never fully surrendered. But now that I have, I understand that when there's less of me, there can be more of God, and you will then live in the fullness of God.